Hey guys, Prince of Macedon here. I'm joined by my friend. Who are you?
A Pixelated Apollo,
Pixelated Apollo.
yeah. Who are you?
Before I start, I'm gonna do a shameless plug for coldest water bottle here. And if you want to buy one of these, this will keep your drink cool for about 36 hours. So you fill it up with ice, you put water in it. When they send this to me from Florida, where I'm from, they put my name on here. There it is, Prince of Macedon with the YouTube Play channel. Ah, so cool. Yeah, if you want to buy this, go to my links. If you use promo code Macedon, you get 10% off on your order. What we're talking about, Pixelated Apollo.
Hey, that looks. Hey, it looks. I am looking for like a big drink thing, so I might have to use a link there and get that 10%.
Dude, that'll at least take off your shipping.
Yeah, yeah. And I'm in Georgia, so it's a. I assume they ship from Florida. I don't know.
They better.
Yeah.
Because I got some people shipping from the UK, I think. Definitely from other places beyond Georgia.
Yeah. So yeah, I gotta get me one of those because I keep using like mugs and stuff, and it's just not enough.
Dude,
My
that's
water.
never enough.
No, and it gets
Shoot.
warm too quickly. Like, come on.
Dude, 36 hours inside this, it'll keep
Yeah.
it cold or hot.
Or
whatever you
hot.
prefer.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, guys. So this is Pixelated Apollo. He has close to 900,000 subscribers on YouTube on his gaming
I'm
channel.
Yeah, I'm getting there. I'm trying.
And this is one of my YouTube friends. Like I love this guy. He actually hung out with me at Disney World a few years ago.
Yeah. I can't believe it felt like yesterday.
Yeah, I still got that video where we did this really awkward.
Oh man, that was so awkward.
Yeah.
I literally in my head I was like, all right. I was nervous, was like, because obviously, like, you were one of the biggest inspirations for starting my channel. I was like, oh my god, I get to meet Prince of Macedon. This is gonna be crazy. I thought, it's like we might make a video, and I just in my head was like we might just like sit on a bench or something and talk about stuff. But man, we went all out, and I was so uncomfortable.
Dude, I make people uncomfortable like all the time.
I know.
It's
I
amazing.
know. It's
I'm
impressive.
like, what you doing, Pixelated?
Yeah,
You
like
uncomfortable yet?
yeah, we were smelling flowers and
Yeah, I remember I
people were
purposely sat you under an air conditioner so that you felt cold the entire time. I was
yeah,
like, yeah, get
yeah.
this guy under this.
Even though it was outside, but
Yeah, it was outside. That's
yeah,
how good I am.
yeah, yeah, and people were watching us, and it was quite the
Yeah.
experience.
All right, so Pixelated Apollo, tell us a little about yourself to my viewers. I'm sure everybody knows who you are, but just do a little recap for my people who might not
Um,
know.
well, I do Total War stuff. Big fan of history. I cover like battles. I'll do like multiplayer battles and kind of shoutcast them. But yeah.
Continue.
but but yeah, that's basically it. I mean, recently I've gotten into fig farming. I don't know. Yeah, pretty
I'm
big
keeping up.
stuff.
I'm going to ask you about that in a minute. So
Okay,
continue.
okay, but that's it. I mean, like that's what I do, and it's pretty simple. And I'm not the most interesting guy, but
Dude, you're amazing. What are you talking about?
uh, I just do the battles and passionate about learning history and stuff, and
That's
that's it.
awesome.
YouTube channel, yeah.
So on your YouTube gaming channel, what's been like your favorite games to show?
Well, I mean, I like to do Rome too, just because it's more modern. The siege battles are pretty decent on that. So I'll do a lot of Rome too. I'll do a lot of Napoleon lately. I've kind of taken a break, but I'm getting back into it. Doing like there's a mod called NTW3, which is like super realistic. I kind of prefer the like realistic mods that kind of add that extra layer of history to it. But that's about it. And occasionally I'll dabble into other games that are like battle related.
Yeah, I remember it used to do some Lord of the Rings, that real-time strategy base building game.
Yeah, Battle for Middle Earth too.
Yeah, do you still dabble in that?
I think I have to reinstall it. There's actually a new one. They're working on a reforged, like updated the first one. It's called like Battle for Middle Earth Reforged.
No way.
Yeah, so I might have to get that and play that when that comes out for sure.
Yeah,
Are you a big Lord of the Rings fan?
I like the movies. I didn't like the last movie, but I love the first set of movies. I love The Hobbit, and
Wait, the last movie. What do you mean?
the
Like
with the
the
Return of the
third
King.
one?
Yeah, the third
You
one.
didn't. Why didn't you like that one?
But it just kept ending. It just I'm like, okay, this is the end. No, this has got to be the end. And it just kept going. Wait, where is the ending? It just kept going on.
You know
And
what's
on.
fun? Peter Jackson, I listened to a director's commentary. He mentioned that like everybody complained that it just kept going and going.
He knew about
And
it.
yeah,
What a punk.
yeah. Well, I mean, he liked it. I mean, I kind of like it because I don't want it to end. Yeah, it's like, you know, it's
We
just,
got The Hobbit.
well, The Hobbit was all right, but you like The Hobbit?
I preferred The Hobbit, to be honest.
What?
I know.
Oh, I don't know. You know what? Cancel this interview. I don't want to do this.
It's over. I'm unsubscribing from your channel.
Yeah, yeah. No, I get it. I mean, The Hobbit was more. I think The Hobbit was more kid friendly, which makes sense because the book was more directed towards kids. You know.
He's calling me a kid, guys.
No, no,
Just kidding.
I'm not saying that. I'm just saying like it's more fun. It's like it's more of a fun. The reasons I don't like it, I think they extended it too much. I think if they put it into 2 movies instead of 3 and more practical effects than all the CG.
No, in that case, I do got you because was it Azog? He was supposed to be
Ozog, yeah.
he's supposed to be a practical character, right? But then they CGI'd him.
I don't remember. I don't know. It was a disaster because someone else was supposed to direct it and he quit. So they Peter Jackson was like, all right, I'll do it. And I honestly think the Battle of Five Armies, the whole like battle scenes were just kind of winged. Like they were just like, all right, well then this happens, you know. And so it was
That for me, that was definitely one of the weakest parts. It did kind of drag a little bit.
yeah.
But I liked the costumes in it, and I liked the Wood Elf King. He was so awesome.
Yeah, Thranduil or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, those parts were Smog was my favorite. Smog, that whole scene when he first interacts with Bilbo.
Yeah.
And, you know, Beef, you know, this the whole dialogue there was so interesting and though I heard that Smog was supposed to be a really small dragon. I don't know if that's true, but like the size of a horse.
I hope not, but I think it looked better with what they showed.
Yeah, I think that's probably why they did it that way. I could be wrong though, but yeah, I like that. I like that part. I think they added so much fluff to it that they could have put it into 2 movies maybe even squeeze it into 1. Get rid of the romance between the elf and the dwarf. Get rid of Legolas. He wasn't in the books, you know. I guess they added that just to bring some familiarity to it.
Yeah, I do agree about the romance. I wasn't really feeling it too much.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, but back to Lord of the Rings. I used to play. Oh my gosh, where'd it go? Lord of the Rings: Battle for Middle Earth.
The first one?
It's part 2, actually.
Oh yeah.
I have a physical copy here. Now, here's my problem. It won't install on my computer, despite everything I've done. Because I used to play it on my old computer.
Do you still want to play it? There's a way.
I do. What's the way?
So if you look on YouTube, there's a tutorial on how to download it. I know, like I mean, they don't make the game anymore, and there's you can't buy it. Well, you can buy it on eBay, but people sell it for like $80, you know. So you can just download. Yeah, you could, especially if you have the Witch King DLC.
Oh, I don't.
No. But you can get all that for free just because I mean that's when it's okay when they stop making it. You can't. I would buy it on Steam if they put it on Steam, but they're not.
I agree.
Yeah.
If it's not available, then there's no other way to play it.
Yeah. So you can download it and play it. It's just a few downloads and stuff, and yeah.
Gotcha. So, what was your favorite scene in the Lord of the Ring movies?
I just remember Helm's Deep. I remember the first time I saw that, I was like in 3rd grade or something like that. And I went with at the time, my best friend, childhood friend, and his mom. She took us. I'm just sitting there and I'm blown away by the siege battle, and it's still to this day one of my favorite like cinematic siege battle, scenes, and it made me fall in love with siege battles. So definitely, yeah, definitely Helm's Deep, but also in Return of the King, when the Rohirrim arrive.
Yeah, that was epic.
Yeah. And like Theoden's just like, fear no darkness, and like just charge in. This is it. Like, if we don't win here, it's and the part where what's the girl? The Rohirrim girl. I forgot her name.
Is it Liv Tyler's part?
No, that it's the other girl that likes Aragorn, but Aragorn's already taken.
Oh, yeah, I forgot her name. Is it Eowyn?
Eowyn.
Or is that Liv Tyler again?
I don't know. I need to freshen up here, but she disguises herself as a soldier, and she's with Mary, and she's like, "Courage, Mary, for our friends," and it's like, teardrop,
Oh,
it's emotional, but yeah.
Yeah, but it definitely has some really great moments, especially the part where the guy's like, "No man can kill me," and she's like, "Oh, I'm not a man."
Yeah. Which happened in the book, yeah.
So were you a fan of the books before you watched the movies, or vice versa?
No, I was so young when those movies came out that, I watched the movies first.
Okay.
But then after, I saw the movies, I read the books, and yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's cool. I did that with Harry Potter. I watched the movies first, and then
I'm reading Harry Potter now just for some fun reading.
Those are really good books.
They are really good books. I'm about to finish the first one, so
yeah, I gotta say, the first three are good, but for me, it really picks up with the Goblet of Fire.
Yeah,
like that one was such a perfect book, and the movie was good, but it wasn't as good as it could have been.
I honestly, the Goblet of Fire is my least favorite Harry Potter movie.
Is it? Oh, you're gonna like the book though. The book does so much better.
Okay. Yeah, because when I watched that, it's just, I don't know, like it just was not good. Like
I hear that.
Because during the pandemic and everything, we've had a lot of downtime, and me and Brittany, I think we actually recently got sick. Not with COVID.
From watching Harry Potter?
No, yeah.
No, just kidding.
It
was that bad.
Sick. I think we had like a flu or something. Because whatever, we were both sick, so we were like, hey, let's just. I did the 7-day free trial for Peacock, which is like a streaming service where they have Harry Potter on it.
Oh, I know Peacock.
Yeah.
And Boss Baby on that. But continue.
Yeah. Well, we used the free 7-day, and we watched all the Harry Potters, and I was like, man, these are so good. And but I just Goblet of Fire, I like the scene when he confronts Voldemort for the first time.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was cool in that movie, but other than that, it was a lot of cringy scenes. It's kind of too teenager for me. They had like the dance, and they had the love interest. I'm like,
Victor Crumb.
Yeah, exactly. And it probably translate better in the book rather than movie.
Yeah, I feel like that movie's biggest shortcoming was it was so rushed, and they still left out so many details.
I'm sure. Yeah, I mean, there's a ton of details that I'll watch like Harry Potter theory videos on YouTube.
Yeah. About
like, one theory was, why does the what's the family that takes him, his aunt the Dursleys, why they're so mean to him. It's because he was a Horcrux or whatever. But that theory doesn't really.
Spoiler! If you guys haven't watched the movies.
Oh, I mean, if you haven't seen Harry Potter, I mean.
No, you're fine. That's been out so long.
But yeah, maybe you can write out. You can write on the screen warning Harry Potter spoilers. But anyways, I watch those types of videos, and there's tons of detail that they bring up in the books that you don't see in the movies, obviously. Yeah.
Oh, for sure. Oh, so I got to ask you then.
Yeah.
What do you prefer, Lord of the Rings or Harry Potter?
Oh, Lord of the Rings. Without doubt. Not even. I don't even think.
It's not even close.
Not even close. Lord of the Rings, in terms of fantasy, Lord of the Rings all the way.
Dang.
No, nothing.
What about, like, let's say Gandalf got in a fight with Dumbledore. Who do you think would win that?
Ooh, yeah. I don't know. I mean, one's a wizard and the other's a demigod. Like Gandalf is a demigod. So like Gandalf can't die through old age. So
Yeah, and Dumbledore does die. So. Oh, spoiler!
Spoiler. Yeah, and he's just human. So I think Gandalf all the way. But at the same time, like I think I read something like Gandalf doesn't use his fullest like magical power that he could. He kind of holds back because he's more of a he's supposed to just kind of guide the you know the different races on Middle Earth and not really like use too much interference.
Okay.
So I don't
It's kind of like
I don't
Zeus
know.
and
Yeah, so I definitely think Gandalf would beat Dumbledore.
gotcha.
Yeah.
Interesting. All right, so you're a huge Total War player. Do you still play Total War?
Not as much as I used to. I like just covering them, honestly. People send me battle replays that I'll just watch and like, you know, shoutcast it almost as if it's a sporting event or something. So
Oh, those are fun to do.
yeah, and it's fun, and you know that's kind of what I enjoy, and that's really 99% of my channel is what that is, and so I play it every once in a while, but not on my free time, you know.
I gotcha.
Yeah.
Is there a Total War period that you wished would be covered?
That hasn't been.
Yeah.
Victorian. I would love to see the Victorian time period. Even like the American Civil War, that would be interesting. Zulu, can kind of dabble into the Zulu war and
Crimean War.
yeah, Crimea, and then also the French Prussian kind of like
Oh yeah,
before
the
war.
Franco-Prussian War.
Yeah, Franco-Prussian. So there's I mean, I like the gun. I used to only like the sword Total Wars, but as I got older, I really enjoyed the like line battle gun kind of Total Wars.
Oh yeah, Napoleon. Like, I prefer sword and sandals myself, but Napoleon
Sword
did
and
it so
sandals?
yeah, sword and sandals.
That's awesome.
But Napoleon did it so well.
Yeah,
Like for me, it's such a perfect game, especially after Empire Total War came out.
yeah.
I'm like, this one corrected all those problems, got it right on its first release.
Yeah, the campaign kind of players didn't like Napoleon as much as Empire, you know, because the campaign wasn't as good.
In what respect? Because I never played campaign.
I guess the scale. I honestly think the campaign. I guess it's because there's only like 4 or 5 factions you can play as, where in Empire you can play as so many factions. More of like a world scale.
Oh, yeah, you have America.
Yeah, Americas. You also have like India and stuff. You can set up trade routes and stuff.
I
So
can see that.
yeah, I'm not a huge campaign player myself, so I didn't really care. And there's so many mods for Napoleon that it's so good. It's still one of the most played historical Total Wars.
Well, why don't you take this time to plug your favorite mod for Napoleon?
NTW3.
Oh man.
Yeah, it's called Napoleonic Total War 3. And essentially they made the combat more realistic. They made it so when you're building armies, you can only bring an X amount of artillery. Like there's set rules. There's hundreds of new units. There's new factions. Like you can play as the Confederation of the Rhine. You know,
Ooh.
that kind of so. There's cool stuff, and there are different periods. So like, there's France, and then there's like, 1812 France. There's like
Oh, that's awesome.
1799 France or whatever. So, and the way they do it is they give each army a rank, like a number system. So when you add up all the team's numbers, the other team has to pick the same amount. So for example, France is like, I don't remember the exact numbers, but France is like a high number because they're really powerful.
Yeah.
So that means if the limit is 26, the French allies who are playing with them, if it's like a team battle, have to pick an army that's a little lower in terms of power. Like Italy, I think is
like America.
yeah, America's in it. Yeah, yeah. You can do like the War of 1812.
That's epic.
So it's a great mod, and they've been working on it for years. Constantly updating it.
Where would you find this mod if I wanted to look for it?
Yeah, it's on ModDB.
Okay,
So
cool.
there's a tutorial online. If you're really interested, I could show you how to install it. But it's a lot different from vanilla. Like the maps are bigger. The combat is completely different, and yeah, it's pretty cool.
Very cool.
Yeah.
And now, I understand that you're a huge fan of Napoleon Bonaparte.
Yes, I am. I've got the hat right here, you know.
Do it, man.
Here, I gotta take off the. Put this on, you just feel more powerful, you know.
Dude. All right. Well, what's Napoleon it right now?
There we go. Hell yeah.
In honor of Pixelated Apollo, guys. What do you like about Napoleon?
Well, one of the things that really fascinated me with Napoleon is I guess in my experience growing up when I was learning about him, you get taught that he was a tyrant, you know, like you get taught that he was this evil, crazy, angry dictator, you know, this little angry guy that, you know, has a complex, and you know, like, oh yeah, the British were the good guys, you know. And then as you get older, you learn more about him, and you're like, holy crap, like this guy was actually, like, he wasn't perfect, but in many ways his ideals pair up, they share up with our current ideals. Like everybody's equal under the law. You know, he got rid of the kings and queens, and I mean, sure, he basically was a king. I mean, he crowned himself emperor. His heir were going to take over. I mean, it's basically, but he did make a lot of like the Napoleonic Code, which I think like 70 countries still use today.
Louisiana still has it.
Yeah. I mean, America uses it. Like they've made changes to it, but like the foundation of it is still there. He not only is he a military genius, but he's also a great statesman. He basically modernized Europe by himself. I mean, he knew sewers, bridges, schools that France still uses today. So even if he didn't have this huge military background, he would still be famous for how great of a statesman he was. So, you know, and you also look at like the coalitions against him, and that like most of the wars he was in, he got attacked first. And the two wars where he attacked first, you could argue were preemptive strikes, you know, against like Russia and stuff. But so I just learned, and he grew up poor. I mean, he was technically a royal, but he was broke. His dad was broke. He's from Corsica. You know, he wasn't even French. And it's just really inspiring to see someone that had nothing and became emperor, you know, of Europe for a short time. It's just really fascinating.
Heck yeah. So do you think Napoleon Total War lets you take the boots as Napoleon pretty well?
In terms of the battles, I think they're good enough. I think like it really helps you like role play into it and kind of experience Napoleonic warfare. I think once you get used to it, I definitely recommend going to the NTW3 mod, which pushes the limits even more in terms of the combat. And but yeah, I think Napoleon does. I mean, compared to any other game set in the time period, it does a great job. Because I know you have games like Napoleonic Wars for Mountain Blade.
Yeah. That's a great game.
Yeah. And there's Hold Fast. That's another one.
Well, I saw you playing this Napoleon game. It looked like an RPG or something. You're playing some kind of Napoleon game. I'm like, this looks really cool. It's not like a battle game.
I know that Assassin's Creed did one based around the French Revolution, and Napoleon is in it. I'm trying to think, like, I don't know.
Maybe I'm just really high or something. I don't know. It was something. All right, we're going to do some Napoleon favorites, okay?
Okay.
All right. What is your favorite Napoleon battle?
I guess I would say I love the battle. It wasn't like a huge battle, but it was the Battle of the Pyramids, which actually wasn't that close to the pyramids, but you could see him off in the distance, where he took on the Mamelukes.
Yeah.
And yeah, he formed the squares and just butchered the Mamelukes. And the thing about Mamelukes is that they carried all their wealth with them. So a lot of the soldiers, became very wealthy after beating them. So that was a cool one, just because it was in Egypt, and he had that famous quote of like, you know, looking. It's like these pyramids look down upon, hundreds of generations look down upon you, and he was such a great, like, really inspiring. Let's see. Also, his Waterloo campaign. Obviously, Waterloo was a disaster, but the battle before that, I'm drawing a blank on the name. Basically, where he defeats Prussia.
Yeah.
And pushes them. That was really big. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, like, there's so many different battles that I can't really pinpoint it. I'm so boring when it comes to favorites. Like, I can't pick a favorite of anything.
Do you think Napoleon? Do you think that Battle of Waterloo was out of Napoleon's hands? Do you think he could have won that?
If the Prussians didn't show up, he would have won for sure. Or if the Prussians showed up, and I thought that the marshal that was chasing the Prussians, if he showed up as well, I think he could have won. But the British were on the verge of breaking when the Prussians showed up. So I think he could have won. What would have happened after Waterloo, I don't know. I think the Russians would have gathered up an army, and they would have shown up, and it just would have been too much. Unless he was able to negotiate some sort of, like, okay, just let me control France. Let me be the emperor of France. Because
I think that was serious butt at that point.
Yeah, I mean, I think that was his plan to doing quick defeats against these people, like, the British and everything, and being like, okay, like, I'm in a position of power now. Can you please just let me be? But that's the funny thing is, like, when he came back, they didn't declare war against France. They declared war against Napoleon. Like, it was the whole world declared war on Napoleon. That's how they look at it.
After what he did, I doubt they would let him be in power, like, in any position of power.
Yeah, I mean, they respected him, but they did not want to have to deal with him.
Yeah. You give him, like, a year, he would have rebuilt and just went to town.
Yeah. Oh, not only that, he was a symbol. He was a symbol to the lower class of, like, these kings, like, I mean, he kind of removed that idea of kings, monarchy, and he was kind of a symbol of hope for people under their rule. And that's what that was why they were threatened by him so much, is not, of him ruling France or anything. It was just that France got rid of their king. Replaced them, and they were afraid. All these kings were afraid of their own people doing the same thing, so they had to take them out.
True that.
Yeah.
All right. Do you have a favorite Napoleon book?
Yes.
Biography.
Yes.
Let's hear it.
Andrew Roberts. It's called Napoleon: A Life, where he talks about the extreme detail of, like, what he was going through at different stages of his life, because Napoleon wrote a ton. He wrote a ton. He was a hopeless romantic. He wrote to Josephine all the time, and she would never write back.
Dang.
And, so she was
Napoleonic ghosting.
Dude, yeah, exactly. I mean, she was. Andrew Roberts, he's a historian. He's actually British, and he loves Napoleon. He was one of the big historians who opened my eyes to Napoleon and how great he was. But he did explain that Josephine, like, she nearly got her head chopped off during the revolution because her husband at the time did.
Oh, shoot.
And that women back then, the way you gained power was kind of sleeping around, getting yourself close to powerful people that will protect you. So, like, you can kind of give her some slack where she was kind of loosey-goosey, and she cheated on Napoleon, a lot before he really rose to power. I'm pretty sure even when he was emperor, I don't know exactly her sexual life throughout his years, but when Napoleon found out, when he was in Egypt, when he found out that she was doing stuff with, I think, like an officer in France, then he started cheating on her. So Napoleon cheated on her too, but he waited at least.
That's his philosophy. Get even.
Yeah.
Don't get mad. Get even.
Basically, yeah. So, but yeah, Andrew Roberts, Napoleon: A Life. It's a very fun read. I always go back to certain chapters about certain parts, of, like, his campaign in Egypt. I just love that kind of stuff.
How's the military detail in that?
Very extreme, yeah. He goes into extreme detail about his maneuvers and like, you know, how he was so effective. Of just he was very analytical, very anal. He would like every detail of running an army. He would make sure he'd get it locked down. You know, supplies, just equipment. He came up with that system of mini armies that would march divided, but every corps. He came up with the corps system, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. And so these corps would have infantry, horses, cav, and artillery. So there were mini armies where if they did get stuck in a fight, the other corps were always like a day away, so they could eventually get over there in time. So he just had this system of fast moving. And that's honestly, that was his biggest genius. I mean, he did make great tactics. He also made some tactical blunders, but the biggest thing about Napoleon was efficiency and speed. And he could mobilize his armies so fast and catch these coalition armies off guard before they united as one big army. So he had, these smaller armies taking out, pieces of the bigger armies before they could join up, and that was his genius,
That's awesome. That's when you march to the sound of the guns, yeah?
Yeah, basically. If you hear gunfire, you head over there, and he was also hilarious. He's got some great quotes about like basically dealing with diplomacy when he was dealing with Austria. Just totally just tricked them. He was like negotiating how he wanted a certain bridge. Yeah. And basically he was trying to convince the Austrians that he was going to use that bridge to move his army across the river. But so Austria like stacked up a huge defense there, and they didn't even go that way. They went a different way. So he just tricked them.
I just tricked them.
Yeah. Like he was
totally going there, guys.
Yeah. Like in terms of a well-rounded leader, I felt like he had it all. Like, military expertise, statesman expertise, art, science. He really cared about that stuff. So that's why I just love learning about him, because he's someone who had nothing and grew up becoming emperor. And then he was also the first person to really put people based on their merit into positions of power. His marshals, I think there was only one marshal that was a royal. The rest were like, one was like a son of a butcher. Dang. Yeah, like he saw the potential. That's what makes a great leader too, is seeing the potential in other people and putting them in positions where they'll strive. So
that's pretty epic. Favorite movie set during Napoleonic times?
So Waterloo that's easily my favorite. I don't know how I forgot that. I think it's almost because I watched Waterloo and I'm like, yeah, this is just like history. Like this,
yeah.
Like I don't. It's just like
it's a documentary.
Yeah, it's like seeing like time travel back to the time. Yeah.
Yeah, I wish more movies were like that. We're just focused on one battle and just concentrated on that.
Yeah, like Gettysburg. Or...
Yeah, but a lot of times they try to cover everything, and then you end up missing so many details.
Right, and yeah, that's for sure. And also, there's no like love interest or extra fluff. It's just the battle,
Yeah.
And, yeah.
So
no,
cool.
I think they're making a Napoleon movie. Which
another one.
I think so. Napoleon's going to be played by Joaquin Phoenix.
I could see him as that. Like, he kind of has that emperor look to him.
Yeah. I guess, yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, I don't know if that was a rumor or what, but hopefully
I would cast him.
Yeah, I would cast him. Yeah, I think he's got dark hair and he looks... I don't know what he is. I don't know if he is French or what, but...
He can act it.
Yeah,
he can act the hell out of that Frenchness.
Yeah, Joker Napoleon.
Yes. All right, what's your favorite unit in Napoleon Total War?
The Old Guard. Nothing beats the Old Guard.
Now, do you hold them back from battle so that they don't get hurt?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. They send up only in desperation. Yep. Which is usually always in Napoleon. Because, Total War is, like, in terms of battles, they're not super realistic in how armies would just fight to the death. Most of the time it's like, all right, we're losing the battle, let's leave. And so, yeah, you always move up the Old Guard. But the French army, I love it because they've got so many units I love, like the Swiss. They have the Polish Legion in there.
Yeah.
I love them. But there's other, I just love the time period. You got the Highland Foot for the British. You have the Freikorps for the Prussians, and the Moscow Musketeers for the Russians, and just.
Oh, I got to ask you: have you fought the Battle of Waterloo from the other side? As the British?
As the British? I'm sure I have. I've done so many Waterloo. Yeah.
Did you feel good about it?
No, I feel awful.
Take that, Napoleon.
I swear, even now, like I read about Napoleon, and it's when he's like going into Russia. Every time he starts his Russian campaign, I'm like, he's gonna do it this time. Yeah,
he's gonna win.
He's gonna win. He's gonna win. Every time. But yeah.
Yeah, I remember watching the Waterloo movie, and I always get pissed when Marshal Ney goes out on his little cavalry assault.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then the post like, "What are you doing?
Yeah, it's like,
I didn't do that."
It's like you moved up the cav without infantry support. Yeah, the lines from that movie are so good. Like the quotable lines. My favorite is when the old guard breaks, and it's like the old guard is broken, and he like turns around and looks, and he's like, so funny.
Oh, wait, how do you feel about Napoleon's portrayal in Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure?
Oh God, yeah, I haven't seen that movie for forever. They have Joan of Arc in that too.
Oh yeah, and was it Genghis or Attila? They had one of those.
Genghis, and I think they have a Greek philosopher. I forgot which one.
Socrates.
Oh, okay, yeah. So
Socrates.
Yeah, I mean, I forgot how. I'm sure they betrayed him as an angry little guy. I'm sure that's.
Yeah, there's a part of that movie where they're like, "Man, where would I be if I was, a 19th century emperor of France?"
Yeah.
Waterloo. It's in a water park.
That's funny. Yeah, what's weird? There's something with flavored water. Like LaCroix?
Not really, but continue.
You don't know LaCroix?
I don't. I suck. I'm sorry.
Dude, no, that's a good thing because LaCroix are kind of like made fun of. It's like a hipster drink or something, but I drink them just because they're like soda. It's like a sparkling water. It's like a flavored water, but there's no calories.
Nice.
Anyways, there's this weird thing with those waters, those like flavored waters, where they all relate to Waterloo. So LaCroix was a spot on the Waterloo battlefield. Yeah.
No way.
Yeah, and there's another sparkling water. I don't know if that's the correct term for them. It's like that's just called Waterloo. And
What?
I get it because it's like Waterloo, and it's like, what is this connection to the Battle of Waterloo? I don't know. I don't get it.
They have like a soldier's picture on there or anything?
No, they don't. I don't know. I don't get it.
Oh crap! Oh, have you ever been to Waterloo, the battlefield?
No, I haven't even been to Europe.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I feel like that would be a spiritual thing for you if you went there.
Yeah, I haven't even gone to Gettysburg, and I really want to go to Gettysburg, and I think that would be a pretty big spiritual thing for me. But
yeah. I haven't been there yet, but I've been to Vicksburg.
Oh yeah,
and
yeah.
And I went to some other battlefields in Mississippi.
Yeah,
which were pretty big.
I used to live in Kennesaw, Georgia, and there was a lot of big Kennesaw Mountain. There's a lot of battles there, of kind of like the last stand of Georgia before they got into Atlanta.
Mm-hmm.
So I lived like 5 minutes away. It was called I think it was called Pickett Mill Battlefield.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah, and it was a Confederate victory. And they used, it was like, and you could see that there's one spot where the Confederates stood, and they had the high ground, and it just went into this like big trench of like woods and forests. So they just gunned them down. They were outnumbered too, yeah. So it's I saw like
it's over Anakin.
Yeah, with the high ground.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they show the like where the artillery was placed and stuff, and they did a reenactment there. It was really cool. So
that's pretty epic.
Yeah. So, but yeah. Anyways, yeah, I would love to go to Waterloo and go to, everywhere in Europe. Go to Paris.
Yeah. Well, let's do a GoFundMe for Pixelated guys.
No, you don't have to do that.
We're gonna send him to Waterloo. where he can relive the defeat. I'm not just kidding.
Yeah, really. I mean, anything Napoleon. I'd love to go to Paris and see his grave.
Oh, same.
Yeah.
Same.
Yeah. Have you gone to Paris?
No, for Europe, I've only been to Cologne, Germany, Rome, Italy, and I've been to Wales and England.
Oh, okay. That's cool.
But yeah, I do want to visit Napoleon. I don't know if you know this about me, but my favorite modern military commander is Napoleon.
I mean, how do you not like Napoleon?
He's done so many great military things, yeah.
He's done great military and, like, state things.
Yeah,
I mean,
true.
again, he wasn't perfect. He did do some bad things. But, you know, I guess if you're British, you kind of have to hate Napoleon. But,
Right. Are there any British people out there that like Napoleon? I do want to know.
well, Andrew Roberts. I mean, he's the historian that wrote about Napoleon. I think he's, like, part French, though, or something. Like, but he is
There it is.
British. He is British, but I think he has, like, a house in France, like countryside France, that he goes to write in and stuff. So,
God, imagine that.
Yeah.
I've got a country estate in France.
yeah, that would be, I don't know. Yeah, I'm pretty sure he does, but that would be the dream. Yeah. Like, I'm going to France to go to my countryside and, you know, soak it in.
Just check it out.
Big lavender field or whatever.
Well, so aside from Napoleon, do you have like a second favorite military commander?
Oh yeah, I got tons. I mean, the classic Alexander the Great.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you can't go wrong with Alex. Caesar. I mean, these are the classic, you know, everybody knows kind of thing. I don't think I've dived as deep into understanding him and learning about him as much as I have Napoleon, but is even like Frederick the Great,
Yes.
who really inspired Napoleon. He was a legend. Even Wellington, you know, he's a cool general. I love the Civil War generals like Stonewall Jackson, Robert E. Lee, Grant, you know, all those guys. Sherman, yeah. Sherman, dude, it's funny because living in Georgia, there's really not like any kind of Georgia's not the same as it used to be. Maybe like 50 years ago, people would be like, I hate Sherman, you know, like I hate him. You know, I remember watching, it's a documentary you can watch on YouTube. I think it's called something like When Georgia Howled, or Sherman Made Georgia Howl. It's about Sherman's march through Georgia. And there was one historian there who was legit pissed, as if like this just happened.
It just happened to him.
Yeah, and he was like, we will never forgive Sherman. He's a war criminal. I was like, holy crap. I was like,
dang.
But yeah, I mean, it's cool. There's like, because he walked the path kind of near where I live, and there's different areas he went through, and there's certain towns he didn't burn down for various reasons. I think there's one town, I think it's Madison, Georgia. There was a unionist, a very, very wealthy unionist that lived there, and he begged Sherman. He's like, please don't burn this town down. And he's like, all right, okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. All right.
I wasn't planning to. But...
Yeah, and he went to Savannah, and he's like, Savannah's too beautiful to burn down, so he left it. But apparently he had to leave his mark. So I think there was these old doors. I forgot if it was like a government building, but he ripped them off and threw them in the river. So that was his mark in Savannah. But Savannah's
go to the
great.
bathroom and like carving your name into it.
Yeah, basically, yeah. I think you can still see the doors too. They're still in the water.
What?
Yeah, I guess they don't want to move them because they might. I don't know. But have you been to Savannah?
No, I've only been to Atlanta and then I think Butts County.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Yeah,
you got to go to Savannah one day because the history there, it is beautiful. The only thing I recommend is don't go out during nighttime.
Is it for the people or?
Yeah, it's rough. There's a lot of crime and some shady characters. So what I do is when I go, there's a part called River Street.
Yeah.
Where it's like right by it's like a river that leads to the ocean and stuff. They have these big like cargo ships that will come in. It's pretty cool. But do some like historical tours and stuff. I did a ghost tour, which was mostly a historical tour.
Uh,
It's awesome. They say it's one of the most haunted places in the U.S., but
what's that behind you,
um,
man?
yeah, the one followed me home.
Yeah,
But
it's
it's awesome.
German.
Yeah, there's a really old like tree there that's like as old as the American Revolution, War for Independence. So it's
Dang,
like the amount of things this tree has seen. But yeah, Savannah's awesome.
that's crazy. I have heard good things about it.
Yeah.
Like it's really beautiful.
Yeah, it's just, we don't really, especially in the US, you don't really see that. Like when you think of Paris, you think of like this beautiful architecture and old buildings. Savannah's like that, where it has its own style. And they were going to actually destroy most of that, but I forgot some wealthy person bought up all the historical buildings and really tried to make it so you couldn't, tear
Oh,
that stuff down. Yeah.
that's great. I
So,
wish more people would do that. Preserve our history.
yeah, for sure. But what are you going to do?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so we're gonna ask you a question.
Okay.
Like, if you could make any kind of video game, since you are this famous gamer, what would it be?
Okay. That's a good question.
Is it? I just
Um,
thought of it, but okay.
I know a lot of people might think like a war battle game, which
Okay.
would be fun to make, but in terms of the most fun I've ever had playing games is when I'm part of a crew, like a team. So I think I would like to make like some kind of a game. You ever played Guns of Icarus?
I have not,
Have
but
you heard of
continue
it?
though. For the video, I'll say yes.
Okay. Well, for those who haven't, no. It's a game where it's like a steampunk game where you're in these big air balloons and you fight other ones that like other air balloon type battles.
That
And
sounds awesome.
it's like yeah, and there's like heavier ships, lighter ships. They have different strengths and weaknesses. And each person plays a different role. Like you'll have the captain, you'll have the engineer, you'll have the gunner, and they all have special abilities that make them better at that specific job. So it was I just love that feeling of being on a vessel with a bunch of other people and doing what you can to keep it afloat and keep it going.
Oh,
So I think I would make a game around that where you could either make it space or or you could do like Age of Sail, warships, and just have it where, you have these different roles and you have the medic trying to heal people, keep them in the fight. You got the captain who's directing everything. You have the sailors who are adjusting the sail, or if it's like a space game, they could adjust like the shields on the ship and stuff. And then you have the gunners who are gunning and, letting them, I don't know, that'd just be cool, just
I kind
something.
of see that. Have you seen Island at the Top of the World?
I have not, no.
So it's them. They're looking for this Viking colony,
Yeah.
but they take an airship for the entire movie,
But yeah.
and it's just them just exploring, basically.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like Star Trek, how their crew and everybody
Yeah.
has. Yeah, kind of like I think there is a game, a Star Trek game. It's like a VR game or something, but I would have mine more multiplayer focus and just kind of, how people form regiments for like Napoleonic Wars?
Yeah,
Maybe do that for like vessels, and you could
that'd be
have
cool. And then
yeah,
you could land and explore on foot.
yeah, maybe you could do like PvE stuff with your crew and then use like stuff you find in the battles or something, and maybe you
Yeah,
could have like kind of like jet fighters, like people who
heck
are
yeah,
like
man.
in little ships and they come out during the battles or something, just anything like that. I mean, it could be fantasy, it could be realistic, but something of that nature where you're a crew and you have to work together.
That'd be awesome. I think.
Yeah, but
So, any game developers out there, make this happen, guys.
yeah, dang it, hire me. I'll be consultant. What about you? What kind of game would you make?
Shoot, I mean, I didn't even think about that. Well, I guess more games about Alexander the Great. I know that
Yeah,
sounds really boring, but you can also work a non-military perspective into that. Just have them like exploring.
that's true. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah. But I do like that because I too am a multiplayer person,
yeah,
and after what you said, I wouldn't mind like an exploration game where you're like on an airship and
yeah,
then everyone has their own roles on that
yeah,
ship.
yeah.
That'd
Yeah,
be
that's true. Yeah. You could, like I said, you could even have it where it's PV like E or whatever, where it's you fight AI and you go explore. Yeah.
You can choose your arena. You want a multiplayer arena, or you just want to like co-op it?
Yeah. It's kind of like Sea of Thieves. Have you heard of that game?
No, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I don't.
It's like it's a pirate game where you do have a crew and you do fight, and like you could do different jobs. It's not like they don't focus on the crew aspect too much. Like, you know, you could be the captain or you could be the gunner or whatever, but you go explore and you look for treasure and stuff. But sometimes other player ships that you have to fight, and you can like sink them and take their treasure and stuff. Be kind of like that, I guess, in a way. But
that's freaking awesome.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, so we're pretty much gonna wrap this up. Is there anything that you want to say before we end this?
No, other than my figs.
Oh yeah, figs. Tell me about those figs.
Have you had a fresh fig before?
Like a fig Newton?
No, like a fresh fig, off the tree fresh.
No.
Yeah, see, like that was my biggest influence into growing figs, because I've never had a fresh fig before, right? So
what, do you eat it?
Yeah. So a fig is technically, here, I'll link you a picture.
Hold on, guys. This might screw up the screen. Oh, that looks like a...
Just say it. I know what you're going to say.
Like a pizza. No, I have no idea.
Like a pizza? Looks kind of like a ball sack. I'm just going to be real.
As long as someone said it.
And that's how you know they're ripe, is because when they first form, they're kind of like they're stiff. Sack. And then it gets soft and falls down. Gravity pulls it down. So, it's an inverted flower. And so I first heard about, I always knew about figs, but I just thought they were like this like Mediterranean, you can't really grow them here.
Yeah.
But then I found out you could, and then my mom said, "Oh, I've had a fresh fig and they're to die for." I was like, "Oh, well, I got to get me a fig," because I was like starting a garden and stuff. Dang. And then I looked up videos, and there is a huge fig community of people. There's over 700 different varieties of figs.
What?
Yeah.
This is new to me, guys.
Yeah, people collect them, and there's ones that taste like honey. There's ones that taste like berries. There's ones that taste like peach. Like there's some that taste like melons. Like there's it's kind of like, it's like wine tasting, right? Where you just,
like fig tasting.
Fig tasting, and there's like a whole science behind it and art behind it, and I've been collecting varieties that grow well in the Southeast, like LSU, the university. They breed figs that do well in the Southeast. That's so like cool. That's their specialty. And so I have like a bunch of LSU varieties. They just name it LSU and then a name. So like there's one called LSU Tiger, LSU. I have an LSU Tiger, LSU Purple, and an LSU Hollier. So
gotcha.
Yeah. So I'm excited to eat them and taste test them and see how they taste. And so.
Dude, that's epic. You should make a video for that, like a fig tasting video.
Yeah, I have a fig I have a fig channel. So
no way.
Yeah. It's called Trent Fig. And,
that's awesome.
Yeah.
I was thinking it'd be like Pixelated Apollo.
Yeah, well, I was really I was making sure it was very separate from the PA thing, just to have an outlet,
Oh, I gotcha.
Yeah. So I uploaded my first video like yesterday or a couple days ago, just kind of showing off the old fig orchard. But I have 17 trees now. I have a problem, but
that's freaking awesome, dude. Yeah,
and I think I'm gonna eat my first fig from my orchard tomorrow.
Yeah.
So I'm excited because when I see people eat figs, it's like they're always like, "Oh, it's so good,"
It's so good. That's not a cookie. That's a fig.
Yeah. So we'll see. I hope I like it. I would hate to eat it and be like, yeah, these aren't good.
Yeah, they suck. I'm going to get rid of these trees. I'm going to do a Sherman and just burn them all.
Yeah, burn them. Oh, my God. I'd give them away. But, yeah, have you ever had muscadines?
Dude, I am so sorry for saying no to everything you asked me, but I have no idea what that is.
You don't know what muscadines are?
I know what a Macedon is.
Yeah, I know. Well, it's a little different, but...
is it like a ball sack? Or?
No, this one's not ball sack shaped. Uh, you never you how long have you lived in Florida?
Like most of half of my life.
Oh my God, and you've never heard of a muscadine? It's a grape.
No.
It's a grape.
Maybe I've had it, but I didn't know what it was called.
Maybe. It's a grape that grows like in the southeast, but
Yeah.
the University of Georgia specializes in muscadines. But I think in Florida they grow pretty well. So
No way.
yeah, you got to look into because it's season. It's almost in season for muscadines to be ripe. So maybe look around at a local market or something, get some muscadines.
Maybe they're outside.
They're wild. Yeah, they grow like
just-
weeds. I have wild muscadines in my yard.
What?
Yeah.
Are they poisonous?
No. You just got to make sure you identify them correctly. They're like really big
I'm screwed.
grapes. You got it. Come on. They're easy to identify. These are grapes. They look like grapes.
Okay.
Yeah. So.
Yeah,
Anyways,
I can't do the ball sack thing, but
you can do the fig thing. You gotta eat some figs. That's the other thing. It's also fig season, so.
oh my gosh, you're like in heaven right now.
I know. Yeah, I'm excited. Figs don't grow too well in Florida because figs don't like the rain.
Gotcha.
But you should have somebody growing figs out there, and
I'm gonna start looking, man.
yeah, give it a
now
try.
that I know what to look for.
Yeah, figs.
Figs.
I mean, and have you ever had dry figs?
I'm gonna be honest with you. I've only had Fig Newton cookies.
Fig Newton,
And
yeah.
That's pretty much the extent of my fig
Yeah,
repertoire.
yeah. But it's just it's been a big hobby of mine to kind of just get away from the computer and stuff. That's what I've been working on. It's like, I've seen people be like, I wish I could meet you. I'd be like, nah, dude, if you really met me, you'd see how boring I am. It's like, play video games.
I've met him, guys. I've met him. He's like the ultimate person you want to meet.
No.
Yeah.
No.
You have to go to Disney to meet him, guys. He's a meet and greet.
Yeah. At Disney. That would be fun. The food is so good at Disney.
Oh, heck yeah. And they just reopened Ohana's.
Yes,
at Polynesian,
yes.
yeah.
Is that your favorite?
For resort restaurants, probably, yeah.
What is your all-time favorite restaurant?
At Disney?
Yeah.
Oh, man. I guess for practical purposes, probably the Yak and Yeti at Animal Kingdom.
Really?
Have you been there?
Yeah, I've been there.
Yeah, so it
It
looks
is
like
good.
it looks like you're like in the Himalayas in this
Yeah.
really cool looking exotic lodge, and
Yeah.
the some kind of chicken I get there. It's like a sesame chicken or something, orange chicken that I get. It is
Yeah.
flawless.
Yeah. They also have they sell a beer there. I forgot what
Yak
it's,
and Yeti?
yeah. It's called something monkey. I forgot what it
Is
was.
it like chilled monkey brains?
No, it's like something monkey, but it's like 12% alcohol. It's like
it's pretty light then.
one beer will get you pretty blasted. So
Dude, I'm gonna look into that.
yeah,
Wait, sorry.
you know,
I don't want to end this, but what's your favorite one?
I think it has. I don't know. There's a lot, but I really like Boma.
That's where we kind of went there. We
Yeah.
didn't eat
We
together.
were
but-
near there. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's where we ate after I met you. Yeah. We go to Boma every time because it's like buffet food that's like really high quality, and it's like
Yeah.
African, so they got like plantains and salmon. So there's that. I also like Ohana. That one's so good. Their noodles are really good.
They don't have the characters back yet, but you can
Did
always do
Ohana
them
have characters?
for breakfast.
Oh, okay.
But
yeah.
if you go for
I
dinner,
don't-
there's no
yeah,
dinner characters.
I don't think I've ever been there for breakfast, but
It's pretty good. It's so fun.
yeah.
And then they
yeah.
also reopened Trader Sam's bar.
Oh yeah, that's a fun one. You get some
Yeah.
cool drinks. Yeah, I mean, I think those are my two favorite. We also Beach Club. That
I
area,
haven't eaten there yet.
it's not good anymore. It's not worth it because they used to do it. You paid like $30 per person. You get unlimited crab legs.
What?
Like it was insane. Yeah, now they're charging a bunch of money, so they must have like not have been making enough money on it. But
It's probably big fat people like me coming in. Oh,
Yeah.
$30 unlimited? Oh,
Yeah.
you're done.
you're gonna lose money. Oh, please! It's not like Disney can't afford it. Like, give me a break. But yeah, those are my favorite.
Epic. But I think I've taken up so much of your time. I do appreciate it.
It's good. It's all good. I always enjoy talking with you.
Always good talking to you. We'll hang out soon.
Yeah, I'm sure I'll be at Disney again. So
Yep.
if you want to meet up again,
Heck yeah, I'm always there.
yeah, I'm always there.
Yeah. All right, guys, say your goodbyes to Apollo, and
Well,
I'll let you have the closing words.
okay. Appreciate you guys watching. Be sure to get the coldest
Whoa. Water.
water, insulated beverage holder. I don't know if
Yeah.
the correct term is.
Actually, I don't either. So it's.
Yeah, Prince. Like, if you buy it, do you get that, or is that just a one?
I
Like
think you have to ask for it. I think you have to like customize it. There's like a
Oh.
customization screen somewhere.
Oh, cool. Well, there you go. I gotta get me one of those because I always need more water when I'm working
when you're
and stuff.
freaking out.
Yeah, and when I'm gardening. But yeah, thanks guys. Bye.
Bye.